Oke, proses relay YouTube.
Ya.
Live stream lagi.
Ya, live stream tuh.
Oke. Kita masuk ke serta. Baik, kita akan mulai. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang Bapak Ibu dan rekan-rekan sekalian. Perkenalkan saya Nurma, MC dalam kegiatan online workshop siang kali ini. Terima kasih atas kehadirannya dalam online workshop siang kali ini yang akan membahas mengenai AI Driven Data Intelligence for Modern Business. Jika ada pertanyaan dapat disampaikan dalam kolom chat dan nanti akan kita bahas dalam sesi Q&A. Dapatkan door prize berupa voucher OPPO senilai Rp100.000 untuk 3 orang terpilih. Workshop ini didukung oleh Aptiknas, Asosiasi Pengusaha Teknologi Informasi dan Komunikasi Nasional, Komunitas Event Cerdas, Komunitas Pembelajaran sejak tahun 2020 dan 521 Talenta, Platform Studi Mandiri dan Magang Bersertifikat. Di sini sudah ada Bapak Fanki selaku Sekjen Aptiknas dan founder dari Komunitas Event Cerdas dan 521 Talenta yang akan menjadi moderator dalam siang hari ini. Silakan Pak Fanki.
Ya, makasih Mbak Nurma. Selamat siang teman-teman semua. Salam sehat ya. Kali ini kita akan masuk ke dalam sesi kita terakhir ya, sesi terakhir di bulan Juni ini yang membahas tentang AI use case atau AI implementation ya. Jadi saya bersyukur sekali karena sepanjang bulan ini, sepanjang Juni, kita banyak angkat tema-tema menarik tentang bagaimana artificial intelligence itu diterapkan. Kalau teman-teman mengikuti dari awal ya, di sesi awal Juni kita masuk tentang AI visual ya. Jadi dan yang terakhir ini tentang AI driven data intelligence. Nah, ini satu tema yang menarik dan tema ini memang lagi happening teman-teman saat ini ya di to get the maximum benefit ya. Nah, jadi yang saya undang kali ini adalah Mr. Jin Chong. Mr. Jin ini adalah the managing director dari Seven Network PT Ltd ya. Nanti mungkin Mr. Jin, you can also explain why you put the 7 network ya, instead of 9, instead of 11, I don't know ya. So this time mostly the conversation in English ya, but for the audience, if you want to add something, you can also put it in bahasa. I will try to translate into English. This time we will talk about the AI-driven data intelligence for modern business. And I hope through this session, yeah, we can get the updates and the knowledge about how the organizations can get the maximum benefit from many things. Because normally, Jin, the enterprise, yeah, in Indonesia also the same, yeah. Okay, let me highlight Jin first, yeah. I put it on spotlight. Okay. Yeah, Jin, in Indonesia, you know, in Indonesia, mostly the people, I used to implement the ERP system 25 years ago. Yeah, but still exists until now, right?
Yes.
Many customers still asking, Pak, can you help me implement the ERP system? And also the CRM system, yeah, still exists until now, the CRM system. But the difference is now is the how we get this data to get the maximum benefit for the organization, yeah. So I think Mr. Jin from JetData.ai will explain, and after that we can discuss. Should be the interesting discussion, yeah. And I hope all the audience can directly involve. You can also directly ask to Jin in Bahasa, okay, because Jin can understand. Because like
Cannot understand.
yeah, can understand but cannot answer. So Jin will, I will have to translate to English, and then we can discuss. Yeah. So I will pass to Jin. Let's introduce yourself to the audience, and then you can share the matter, the presentation. After that, we go Q&A session. Go ahead, Jin.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. You can hear me loud and clear.
Yes.
My name is Jin. Let me just show you, share the slides here. It's okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so I founded Seven Network in 1991 with the objective of delivering cost-effective technology to customer. So, you know, in 1991, we're still in the era of personal computers. Right? From then on, we moved on to doing networking, messaging, VoIP, cybersecurity. Basically, we grew with the technology. But what is important is that our objective is to play around with new technology and find a commercially viable solution to the customers. So as you know, new technology is always very expensive, but there are always ways to make it very cost effective and affordable to the customers. So this is basically our business. So as to why 7 network, but why not 8 network, right? I think maybe because 7 is a good number, right? 7 sails the 7 seas and 7 wonders of the world. Of course, now 8. So that's why we picked the number 7. So it's very, very simple. Okay. Well, so far for self-introduction, shall I continue, Pak?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. So today we want to discuss about what's between the AI and data, the correlation, right? So every organization, as you know, as Pak Fanki has mentioned earlier, we all have a lot of data, right? But very few would be able to make any sense out of the data other than using the applications that you already have. ERP system probably it holds the most valid data that you have because it is your entire operation, right? So you want to purchase, you want to send a DO to an invoice, all the data are kept in the ERP system, which is very robust and very good sets of data. But traditionally, ERP system don't give a very good insight analysis of your data, right? Then we also have CRM platform, which at the moment is a big problem to every organization. Right? You have a very good sales management platform, but the number one problem is none of your salesperson is keying in the data. So you end up not getting a very good picture on what's happening at your Salesforce level. One of the very rich source of data is coming from email, surprisingly, because in email we do a lot of discussion, right? What happened to this? What happened to that? And a lot of things, insights you can pick up actually from the email content as well. Document is very challenging. We all are very literate these days. You know, we know how to organize documents in a folder, in a subfolder, in a sub-subfolder. But you get to a point where you don't know where you actually stored the document. It's very difficult to find one, right? Collaboration is another source of very, very good data because through collaboration, you can actually pick up a lot of insights, such as what is the real root cause of the problem, for example, or is it because this person asked a question because he doesn't understand or he's not very well trained? So collaboration, discussion, especially like using your messaging apps, these are very rich source of information for you. And of course, you have all your different cloud apps, right? You will subscribe to Monday.com, you subscribe to Trello, you subscribe here. In a nutshell, your data are all over the place at the moment. So how are we going to address to this, right? We must first understand organization had very fragmented data silos, right? And especially individual person would tend to keep their own data on their own laptop or even on their own mobile that is not visible to the entire organization. Right? With that, you get the knowledge scattered all over the place. And all these tools are disconnected. That means your data are not connected together. With that, then you get very difficult to piece information together, right? This email related to that project, which then related to this group chat. So when you get into this stage, then decisions are usually made in a very, very slow pace because if you are the decision maker, you need to understand from all aspects, all source of data before you can give a very good advice, recommendation, or direction. I'm very surprised that many organizations are still doing manual reporting. If it's live audience, I would ask for a show of hand. How many of you out there, your organization still needs you to do manual reporting, cut and paste from Excel spreadsheet to here to there, and then come up with a overall report? I think, but Fanki is laughing as well. Okay, so knowledge is then trapped within individual, and that makes that is one of the very big pain point in every organization because if a project manager leaves the company, he takes away with all the data he had exposed to, right? And for the new project manager to take over, there's no way for him to see the overall picture. So how do we do that? How do we then manage all these pain points and find a solution out of it? You must first understand that data are actually just raw facts and figures, right? They may be numbers, they may be a description of an incident, but data alone doesn't tell you anything. But if you piece the data together, there is a context, then it becomes an information to you. And with information is usable, it becomes a knowledge to you. And with a knowledge that can drive action, it becomes the intelligence that you need to manage your organization. So the whole supply chain of from raw data to intelligence will increase your business value in that sense, right? So they all have to be pieced together. So in our perspective, AI is effective only if it is directly linked to data, good data. So AI effectiveness is direct link to data readiness. In other words, if you don't have a good set of data, your AI implementation will not be effective. So you see that a lot of AI expert or providers, they talk a lot about LLM, what AI can do, but very few will tell you that the foundation of AI is actually the data layer. Okay, so when we talk about data, we traditionally used to talk about structured data, right? Your text, your new numbers. But these days, data also include unstructured data, which is your documents, your emails, your chats. And all this will form a knowledge layer where your AI can then sit on top of your entire data to give you a very, very good either analysis, advice, or overall picture of what is going on in your organization. So 4 pillars four pillars in AI, very important. Number one is the people. So your people must first be ready to accept or embrace AI. Now, the number one fear, of course, is that they fear that they lose their jobs. So a lot of education is needed to explain to the team members in the organization, the objective of implementing AI is not to replace jobs, right? It is to replace the things that they don't like to do. So a lot of times we go to see our customer, we ask them, tell me what are the things that you don't like to do? And that is the part that we will use AI to replace, right? And once you can do that, you will save the time. The time saved by each of your team members can then be used to do a more high value job, such as innovation, right? Creativity, or they can have more time to do team building. They have more time to do market analysis. So AI is there to free up your time so that you can perform a higher value job. So this has to be communicated and has to convince. Once the people are ready to embrace AI, then the next step is to go into the process of implementing. So again, the number one uh, important thing that every organization looks into is data security, right? What happened to my AI? If I'm going to allow the use of ChatGPT, does it mean that my quotation, my PO, everything goes to ChatGPT? And will OpenAI be, collecting all our data to do something about it? So the golden rule is that once the data goes into the internet, anything can happen, right? So the number one rule is, how are you going to do your data governance? How are you going to standardize your workflow? How are you going to architect the entire knowledgement system that you're going to build on? Okay? Once you got your process right, then it comes the technology. So as you know, GPU is very expensive, right? Even when you buy a computer now, I think the price is at least 50% more expensive than before. Okay, but it doesn't mean that when you implement AI, it's got to be a big budget project. Actually, you can start small with AI. With even just a few thousand US dollars, you can already have your own AI agent that does things. Let me show you an example, a real life example later. And last but not least, the kind of data that you have, the quality of the data you have is also very important because, as you know, AI or LLM has got no memory, right? So it's garbage in, garbage will come out. You ask a stupid question, it will give you a stupid answer. You feed in a wrong data, a noisy data, you will come out with something that is not very real for you to use. Okay, so data quality is also very important in this case. So something to ask yourself, right? Is the organization truly ready for AI? Before you do that, your people, you have the process, you have the technology, you have the data in place. So that's very important. Second thing for you to think about is, how would you measure your AI readiness today? Can you put a number to it? But honestly, there are, uh, assessment of AI readiness assessment out on the internet that you can search for it. They are generic, so not 100% will apply to your organization, but at least that serve as a good guide, right? A self-challenge that you can ask yourself, hey, is my people AI savvy up to how many percent? Is my workflow very well defined? Do I have a very good SOP or operating procedures? Do I have all my data consolidated so that when I implement AI, it's easier? Okay, so bear in mind, 50% of a lot of AI projects is data related. Okay, as much as the AI consultant can tell you, oh, let's implement AI, the first thing they start looking into is your data. And if you are not ready, you'll be spending 50% of the cost of the project on organizing the data. So once you get it ready, you save cost, basically. Last question is that what are the biggest barriers to your AI adoption in your organization? You have to identify that. Whether is it the people, the data, or the process, or in most cases, the budget, right? But like I said, don't worry. AI implementation can be very cost effective. You don't have to be very expensive, right? Okay, so AI as an enterprise knowledge management, what can we do with that? All right. We can have a corporate knowledge assistant that can answer a question based on your own document and policies. And one of the very good way to implement AI in the HR is when you have a very complicated HR policies, right? And nobody in your organization knows exactly how the HR things work. And they keep asking the question, right? But how many days in advance should I apply for a leave? How many urgent leave do I have? That kind of thing, right? And honestly, sometimes even the HR managers are confused themselves, right? Because the HR can be very, very complicated things. Now, if you run that with an AI agent, then he will be able to digest your HR procedures and policy in a very smooth way that it can then answer queries in a lightning speed. So this is one way you can do it. Enterprise search engine, which is what Google and Claude is doing right now, which is to be able to create your folders, your files and folders, and be able to find that document that you want, right? Based on some prompt, some checks. Uh, organizational memory is one very important element because as you know, in an organization, when we run for so many years, you have different batches of people, right? People come in, people leave, people come in, people leave, right? So experience, your knowledge tends to live with the people if you don't keep them properly. But if you have a set of collection of what has been done, what remedy you have done, what were the steps that solve this problem. You have a collection of that. And most often in IT support business, that will be your service ticket, right? Your service report. That is your best source of knowledge base. If you're able to collect them together and put an AI engine on it, basically this AI can have the experience of all the teams that you have in the past and be able to give you very, very good suggestion and advice. The last but not least is the decision support companion. Now, what do you mean by that? As a business leader, sometimes we want to make this, well, not sometimes, not all the time we have to make decisions, right? But before we make a very good decision, we tend to ask our team members, right? Can you give me this information? What is happening on the ground? What is this about? So if you don't have a very good collection of data, you can't make that very good decision. And AI is typically very good in producing that data you want so that you can make instant decision about it. And it can even, based on your past collection on how decisions are made, give you a recommendation of what you should be deciding on, right? So these are some examples of how you apply AI in your organization. So traditionally, we were looking at very static reporting, maybe even Excel spreadsheet, and there are always delay in such information being given to you, right? I've heard cases where bosses are complaining that their manager will take at least 3 days to compile a report for them. So 3 days, maybe 20 years ago is okay, but 3 days now is not okay. You can't even, you need 3 seconds actually to come up with a decision very quickly in the market, right? And then analysis is usually very manual, right? For all the bosses, we all know, right? We do our analysis here. But how we do it, we cannot explain to everybody. It's our gut feel, right? So this thing has now changed. And today, in an AI-driven decision intelligence, AI, given a very good set of data, can identify trends for you. Okay, where is the market heading? Oh, I think maybe less people have a problem with computer now, but they have more problem in using the application. So that's a trend, right? Or you can detect anomalies, right? How come suddenly this thing happened, never happened in the past, right? Generate a summary, provide recommendation, even provide you with a strategic planning. For example, it can do prediction, right? I think this company, most of the computers are more than 4 years old, and probably you can expect more breakdown coming along. So you have to prepare that enough resource to support your customer. So these are some things that AI can drive you into. So where decisions are paid off, for example, in finance, um, finance managers always spend a lot of time doing budgeting, doing forecasting. So these days, with the help of the AI, this can be done like within hours, if not minutes. It's very, very fast. Human resource, like I explained, if you can predict a period of time where uh, more problem will surface or more production is needed, then you can better plan your manpower. And in operation side, I think the number one problem in operation is SOP. I don't know about you, but in our organization, we had so much problem in getting people to follow the SOP. But simply because the SOP is stored in a document format that the team members find it very troublesome having to open it and to be able to read one by one and follow. So the best thing is have an AI assistant to guard this. Whenever they are doing things, they could ask the AI, right? What are the steps that I should be following? All your SOP up straight away. So imagine your field engineers are equipped with this tool, you would probably be happier and you feel safer that, okay, the team are guaranteed they will follow the SOP. Last but not least, also the executive dashboard, because as business owners or business managers, we really don't have time to look at the details on the ground, right? We look from the very macro level, what is going on in the organization. So having a very good dashboard that tells you what is happening overall helps you to make very, very quick decisions to fix things, to fix issue, or helps you in a very good to make a very good and fast decision on what you want to put in, what solution you want to put in place in anticipating a problem that is coming. All right. So looking ahead is what AI can help you for. Now, in terms of security concern, of course, you have data privacy. You're afraid that if I implement the AI, then it lost that security with the data. Anyone can access it. Or if you're using a cloud AI and then your data goes out into the cloud. All these concerns are really valid. What you can put in place, for example, is a role-based access control. That means you only allow people to see what they are permitted to see. All right, so you have to implement a role-based access control. You must be able to audit where the data goes. who is retrieving what data. You have to have that managed, right? And also then you have to have a certain form of compliance monitoring. This is very important because a lot of time when we implement a system, once it is working, we don't go back and audit in the periodically, right? So AI is, especially when you implement an AI, AI is not a fixed system. It's a never-ending project, right? You keep having to improve the AI month after month. And then there is this importance of doing your compliance monitoring at the same time. Because every time you upgrade the AI or you improve on your own AI, certain things may break in the security side. So you do have to make sure that log in as a normal user and make sure that I'm not seeing things that I'm not supposed to see. Okay. So some of the industry use case for manufacturing, SOP assistant, you can do quality management with that. You can have your operation analytics, you can have your forecasting. In government sector, I think policy knowledge management is the in thing right now because there are so many government policies that are very difficult to flush down to the public, right? So everybody is very confused of what is going on. I understand in particular in Indonesia, cortex is a very big challenge, right? Almost every customer I meet in Indonesia has problem in submitting their corporate tax. Right? So there must be some form of implementing a good AI that can explain or can direct public or companies to how the tax should be properly submitted. In healthcare, medical documents, I don't know about Indonesia, but in Singapore, we used to have problems where your medical record stays with the hospital that you go to, right? And if you are admitted to another hospital, then they don't have your record. So the government in Singapore now is trying to integrate the entire healthcare record system so that no matter where you go, whether you go to a private clinic, the doctor still get access to your entire record, medical history, right? So in this aspect, AI can play a very big part as well to collect the necessary data and furnish it to the doctors. Last but not least, banking and finance. Um, this is a very, very tough industry where I see AI coming into this industry is more on fraud management because the AI is fast enough to go through every transaction and be able to pick up which transaction is most likely a fraud, right? So these are some of the use cases in different industry. Now I want to bring up our own use case. So just share with everybody. So in our organization, we rely a lot on group chats, right? In particular, a lot of task activities are done in WhatsApp group chat. The typical way of a manager or a leader is that we tend to assign somebody a task and then we will forget about it because there's so many things that we have to remember, right? So I assign someone a task. I assume that someone will own the task, get it done, and then come back to me and say, this is done, right? But this is usually not the case. And task management has been also the number one problem in every organization. Right? We have a very proper task management application, but unfortunately, none of the members would like to open up the form, enter and update. Nobody wants to do that. So everybody wants to do the check. Boss, this is done, kind of thing. So from group chat, one of the way to implement AI into managing it is to have an AI agent that can look into your group chat and then automatically create a task for it or automatically update a task for it. Right? So in this case, like an example will be, let's ship the landing page on by Friday and follow up with the vendor. And the AI agent created 2 tasks for this: follow up with vendor, due Friday, finalize the landing page. Okay, it's almost like a virtual secretary. So the challenge here is that first of all, the AI must understand the conversation. Okay. Next, the AI must be able to create the task automatically. And third, it must manage the task all the way until it's completed. Right? So let me show you a live example of this. Okay. So this is one of our group chat with all the IT support team members in my organization, right? So don't look at the content, they're all confidential anyway. Okay, but what I want to show you is how the AI is able to be trained to interpret the content and be able to arrange for it. So let me give you an example. Okay, so this is the task that the AI keeps track of. All right, what we are doing. Don't worry about the Star Wars. We're all fan of Star Wars, so our internal system are all named after Star Wars. Okay, for example, in this case, one of the teammates gave me an alert. It says Cosling ESET left 14 days. Now, the AI must be smart enough to interpret this, that Cosling is a customer, ESET is the antivirus product, and it is due for renewal 14 days. Okay. Now, with that, what happened is that when I asked the AI, show me the high priority tasks, you can see that one of the tasks added in was renew Cosling ESET license 14 days. Okay. So any part of our conversation here is being read and understood by the AI agent in also exists in this chat group, and it be able to supervise, monitor, and manage our tasks. Okay. So in a nutshell, the CEO would like to ask the AI agent in this case, right? Summary of our monthly sales performance, for example. The HR director will like to know what are the current onboarding procedure for our new employee, right? Operation manager wants to know what is the frequent operational incidents in the last 6 months, for example. The compliance officer wants to show all the documents of the ISO 27001. And then the school principal wants to know what policies govern AI usage in our institution. So all this information, actually, if you set it up properly, can be answered by AI. Right? And the AI doesn't have to be a cloud. In fact, the AI agent that we use are local AI agent, so that all our discussion doesn't leave the company. Okay, so becoming an AI first organization. First of all, you have to connect the data, organize the knowledge, generate meaningful insight, make decisions. So as you can see, the entire flow is very consistent, right? Data first, get it organized, get the meaningful insight, and then you can make a very quick decision after that. So AI does not replace human intelligence, at least not yet. But it amplifies the human capability. That's what I'm saying. AI is there to help you do more things, do more high value jobs, right? Uh, so this part of the AI implementation has to be properly conveyed to all your team members. So, in a nutshell, I would say in today's context, implementing AI in an organization is no longer a dream. It is doable. It is no longer very expensive. It is actually, it can be very cost effective if you find the right partner like Fanki. Okay, but whichever things that you want to do, always remember, number one, make sure your team is ready for it. Number two, make sure your data layer is well organized. Number three, make sure you have use correct technology. Okay. And number four, make sure you work with the right partners. Again, like Fanki. Okay, so with that, I end my presentation and I open question to the floor.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jin. I thought it will be only 10 or 15 minutes, but it's almost 20, yeah. 20,
Oh,
25.
really? That long?
That's the difference between entrepreneurs and lecturers, right? Okay, let's see some question. Yeah, we have Pak Ucok. Yeah, I think we have Pak Ucok here asking about what is the first step, the practical first step, yeah, to implement AI with the limited budget. Wow, this one very challenging. Jin, your call.
What is the budget? Is that the question?
No, I mean the practical way, to start implementing the AI with limited budget. With limited budget.
What is the practical way?
Now,
Oh, sorry. I think the first thing is that you start from a very you have a very big problem that you want to solve. Okay. Don't go about solving that big problem. Break them down into smaller problems first. And then you identify one that is very critical and you implement an AI for that first. Because it takes time for you and the AI to know each other, right? So if you start with a very big project, you have a very big budget to pay, and then the final result may not be what you expect it to be. So pick something very small. It can be anything. It can be like AI OCR, for example, converting your hard copy or your PDF invoice or DO into a digital format that you can then push it straight away to the ERP system that you have. Now we don't suggest implementing AI to replace your existing system. No. Right? Your ERP is there for a reason, your CRM is there for a reason. Don't throw that away. Right?
Yeah.
But what we're saying, what we are advising is use AI to make it more efficient. Right? If your ERP needs to have a person manually keying in all the data, maybe that part you can use the AI OCR to complement. So start from that. From there, everybody will then understand the beauty of it. Hey, it's actually saving me a lot of time. I can go home earlier, for example, right? And then you invest more to make it bigger. So start from small, and it don't have to be very expensive.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes people think they start from small. That's also expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Fanki is offering a AI invoice OCR solution for like 500,000, right?
Yeah.
Something.
Let's see. Okay. Next one is for example, if the organization already have the ERP, CRM, email, the whatever, the document management system, which one that is a good one, impactful one to become the source of AI? Is-
Which
I
one
think
is the?
which one is best source of AI for AI implementation?
Which one is the best source of AI implementation?
Yes.
Well, it does depends on what is the outcome that you want, really, right? And what kind of pain point that you are trying to solve. Whether number one, you're trying to cover the daily cut and pasting, or whether you need a very good dashboard to tell you the overall situation in your organization. So it depends on what you want.
So back to the, I think back to the point one, right? What
Mm.
is the use case of the pain that you try to solve? Right?
Yeah. I give you an example. I
Ah.
once did the demo with a customer, right? So the first thing I asked them is that, what do you want now? What is your wish list? The customer replied, "Oh, I want to have a overall picture of my company's business transaction." Because all he get is a manual report or Excel spreadsheet report. And honestly, very few people would understand from the Excel spreadsheet what is the overall situation, right? So I asked him immediately, do you have some sample data? So he gave me 25,000 records in Excel spreadsheet. Dump that into our platform, generate a dashboard within 15 minutes and show it to him. Look, this is your overall performance. They go, wow. So you can start from that, and it's not expensive these days to do data analytics and dashboarding. It's quite easy.
Yes, especially now in the AI era, yeah.
Yeah.
Many tools available, yeah. Okay, I saw Fabrion raise hand. Fabrion, you want to talk directly? Fabrion.
Oke, terima kasih. Selamat ketemu lagi Pak Fanki. Saya
Ya.
terpaksa berbahasa Indonesia saja. Mohon bantuannya
Ya, siap.
mentranslasikan. Untuk Mr. Chong, selamat ketemu. Saya Brion Sudarman, domisili di Kota Tanjung Pinang, Kepulauan Riau. Menarik sekali ini. Beberapa perusahaan saya lihat hanya menggunakan AI sebagai AI washer saja. Jadi tidak detail. Nah, sekarang kita sudah melihat detail terutama mengenai executive decision intelligence. Nah, yang menjadi pertanyaan saya, sejauh mana insight yang bisa didapat dari intelijen tersebut? Apakah sampai prediktif atau preemptif? Nah, dan bagaimana memitigasi risiko yang terjadi akibat data latih yang masih kurang. Itu aja. Terima kasih.
Yeah, I think thank you, Fabrion. I think the Fabrion question is thank you for the session because this is more clear about the executive what do you call it? Executive apa tadi? Executive Pak Fabrion? Ulang. Nah, so basically, the question from Fabrian is what happens if they using the AI, but the data is still not as much as trained. No data available enough for the decision maker in the executive dashboard, for example. I think this is common in Indonesia. We have many data silos. Not only data silo, we have also some problem with we call it data management. We carry object data. I think Cerdas should have the answer for this kind of thing. So, Jin, your opinion about the Fabrion question? I think Fabrion still exists or left the room? No.
So what's the question again, Pak?
Oh, I thought you already. So, Pak Brion, Pak Brion, monitor Pak Brion.
Ya, saya monitor.
Ya, oke. Pak Brion
Oke.
tadi bertanya soal eksekutif apa, Pak? Dashboard ya, Pak ya?
Ya, khusus untuk
Eksekutif.
modul
Ya.
executive decision intelligence. Nah, itu
Ya,
intelijennya
oke.
sejauh mana insight
Oke.
yang kita dapatkan, apakah cukup sampai prediktif atau preemptif saja,
Oke.
dan bagaimana mitigasi yang dilakukan apabila data latihnya belum mencukupi gitu. Terima kasih.
Okay. So, Pak Brion, I think about the executive dashboard, executive intelligence system like, for example, created by JetData. If they have not much many information provided, how to solve? Number one. Number two is related to the, what do you call it? Is more on a predictive or preemptive for the decision.
He's in manufacturing.
Pak Brion, I think not in manufacturing ya. Di mana? Pak Brion apa Pak Brion? Industrinya apa Pak Brion?
Ya, halo.
Ya, ya. Pak Brion ini apa organisasinya, apa perusahaannya atau apanya? Apa?
Gimana ini? Saya di pinggir jalan ini.
Oh ya, Pak Brion ini apa perusahaannya atau organisasinya apa? Lupa saya.
Manufacturing.
Manufacturing ya, manufacturing.
Ya.
Manufacturing.
So basically, you want to know how AI can support in predictive and forecast analysis, right?
Yes, and then if the data is not valuable or is not trained enough, yeah. So what we should do?
So overall, in manufacturing, I think there is a lot of attributes that you have to consider when you're doing data analytics or doing any prediction, because in the manufacturing process, I think you have to look into certain details such as what is the wastage, right? How does component manufactured, how many stages of process to make a final product? So all this data has to be collected simultaneously, if not instantly, so that based on past statistic, that we can then make a forecast or make a prediction on what's going to happen next. So someone has to be very good in his domain. Like, for example, if you ask me, how am I going to do the prediction or do the forecasting? I would not know, because that I am not an expert in that manufacturing of his, right? It has to be someone within his team that can then derive how they manually observe, or what are the figures that they usually look at. So in other words, there is a need to have a subject matter expert if he wants to implement an AI in his domain. Does that answer the question?
Pak Brion monitor, Pak Brion.
Ya.
Kira-kira menjawab nggak?
Ya, rasa saya khawatir gimana kalau intelijennya tidak sampai ke prediktif. ya kan? Kemudian terjadi bias data dan algoritma dalam proses AI tersebut. Nah, itu kan akan sangat mengganggu gitu. Itu yang menjadi poin pertanyaan saya.
Ya, ya. Jadi biasanya tuh memang perlu dirapikan sih Pak. Artinya dipersiapkan datanya dengan baik agar nanti pada waktu diolah ya oleh sistem itu bisa menghasilkan yang sesuai ya. Jadi kalau datanya nggak baik ya sama lah Pak, kasih semua sistem apapun garbage in garbage out gitu. Jadi memang harus diperhatikan. Nah kalau untuk data manajemen sekarang ada standarnya baru Pak, namanya data manajemen standar gitu ya. Jadi DAMA namanya Pak. Jadi itu juga bisa
Oh gitu. Ya,
ya,
ya, ya.
itu data manajemen baru hasilnya maksimum gitu ya. Mau jadi ke prediktif atau mau ke yang lain itu bisa dilakukan dengan baik. Oke, saya lihat dulu pertanyaannya yang lain ya.
Oke, terima kasih Pak Fanki dan
Ya,
Mr. Chong.
ya.
Maybe we can meet offline when I'm in Jakarta, yeah.
Brion in Belitung, near to your place in Singapore lah.
Oh,
Just go
is
by
it?
swimming. Ya, just go by swimming.
Oh, it's so near.
Oke. Apakah JetData dapat terintegrasi? Can JetData integrate with the Google ecosystem? Google
Well,
ecosystem.
we are designed to be a open data management system. So we are equipped with API connectors. So it is built to integrate with any other system outside. So no problem here.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, the other one is okay. We hear a lot of AI solution from your key differentiation of the data to be your silver bullet. Okay, I think what is the silver bullet or the differentiation key of the data compared to other AI solution?
Okay, so basically, JetData focus on managing your data in a flat format, right? So unlike traditional database system where you have so many tables and you all interlink with each other. So to find a record, you actually have to combine a few tables together. But in JetData, we flatten it. So within one single record, you have your structured and unstructured data. Now, why we want to design it this way? Because AI in particular doesn't like to handle relation database. Okay, by having a flat data design, it's easier for the AI to communicate, to pull the data out and to do the necessary AI processing. So that's the real advantage of JetData as compared to other AI solution. But in a nutshell, JetData is also built to be able to work with different AI models. So for example, if you are solely going to use one AI solution, your data may be stuck in that model. You can't change simply because maybe the data is vectorized already using that particular AI model, right? So in JetData, we are quite agnostic. It means we are built to be able to move from this LLM to another LLM as and when you need it or necessary. So that's another open design that we adopt.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's also a good thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the last one is how to ensure the AI is developed based on the privacy by design and privacy default, considering to each country has its own rules regarding the personal data protection.
So number one rule is that any data platform in the market has to offer on-premises option, right? So organization would host and own and manage their own data on premises instead of in the cloud. That's one. Right. Second thing is that all the data platform that manages your data has to have audit log, where the data goes, who logs in, who get what data, who makes some changes on what data. If you want to even go to that detail, it is possible with JetData. And that gives you accountability. Thirdly, our API are all compliance with role-based security access. That means when you call an API to JetData to retrieve some information, along with the API, we will know, you will have to feed in who is the user. And with that, we will understand that, okay, this user is only permitted to receive this data, and thus we will send it to them. Now, this is handled backend at JetData level. Most of the platform will handle front end. That means you build a UI to control whether the user can see what. But the data is already transferred to the front end, right? So that's very not so good security. So for our case is that we handle this backend. We will already only send the data that the user is allowed to see. So these are just a few of the highlights of what JetData can do for you.
Yeah. Okay, I think we come to the end of the session. Before we do the closing remark from Jin, I will pass to Norma for the photo session first, yeah? Norma, go ahead.
Photo session.
After this, closing remark.
Okay. You know.
Oke, baik. Terima kasih. Baik Bapak Ibu, silahkan untuk dapat menyalakan kameranya. Kita akan foto bersama-sama terlebih dahulu. Sebentar, 1, 2, 3. Oke, baik. Silakan Pak Fanki. Untuk closing.
Ya, silakan Jin, your closing remark. Halo Jin, your closing remark, please. Yeah, your turn for the closing remark.
Closing remark.
Yes.
Don't be afraid of AI. It is there to help. And AI really cannot work without human. So in fact, if you look at Industry 5.0, the upcoming one, is actually basically a collaboration between human and AI. Okay, so start your AI journey as soon as you can. If you would like to know more information, you can feel free to contact Pak Fanki, or you can contact myself. Yeah. Good luck on your AI journey.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Jin, for the insight, for the talk about this topic today. AI-driven data intelligence. I think some of us perhaps still asking or confused, how to start, but actually no problem. We are here to help, Jadi silakan Bapak Ibu kalau perlu bantuan bisa kontak kami di 521 Indonesia. Dengan happy kita akan bantu untuk bisa start your AI journey seperti tadi kata Jin start your AI journey dan platform ini sangat mudah bisa dikembangkan untuk berbagai hal dan sangat bisa terintegrasi dengan the existing environment apapun itu jadi bisa masuk ke berbagai kondisi environment yang ada di perusahaan ataupun di instansi Bapak Ibu sekalian Saya terima kasih sekali waktunya. Thank you, Mr. Jin, for your time to sharing about this. And I hope we can see some response from the audience after this, and see how they start their AI journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. See you back again in Jakarta
bentar, Pak.
for.
Iya,
Yeah.
iya.
See you back again in Jakarta for another durian session ya. Ya, jadi Mr. Jin sama saya suka makan durian nih, sama Mbak Nurma juga nih. Saya kembalikan dulu ke Mbak Nurma untuk menutup sesi dan membacakan 3 orang yang mendapatkan voucher kita pada sore kali ini. Silakan Mbak Nurma.
Oke, baik. Terima kasih Pak Fanki dan Mr. Jincok. Baik Bapak Ibu, saya akan mengumumkan 3 orang terpilih pemenang voucher OVO. Yang pertama itu Pak Danil, ada Pak Danil? Pak Danil.
Iya, ada Bu.
Selamat ya Pak Danil. Yang kedua Pak Beta Petraca, ada Pak Beta? Pak Beta.
Kalau soal voucher pasti ada saya.
Selamat ya Pak Beta. Dan yang terakhir Pak Ucok Jabarudin, ada Pak Ucok? Pak Ucok.
Ada Bu. Yang ada.
Selamat ya Pak Ucok. Selamat kepada 3 orang terpilih pemenang voucher OVO dan nanti akan kami hubungi setelah acara ini selesai. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu atas partisipasinya dalam online workshop siang kali ini. Thank you Mr. Jincok. Terima kasih Pak Fanki. Sampai bertemu di online workshop kita selanjutnya. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih semuanya. Sampai jumpa.
Selamat sore semuanya. Sehat.
Thank you semua.
Thank you.